Welcome everyone to the live. Uh, this setup is the minimal setup I have for now because my normal setup is not working now. There's no electricity here, so that means I will not be using my normal setup. So welcome everyone to this live setup. I believe so long as the content is met, it will be okay with most of us will be watching it today. And without further ado, let's dive back into the topic. So we are talking about rekindling romance in your relationship in 2 weeks without grand gestures, expressive gestures. So this is specifically for people who are already in a relationship and a married relationship, and you've stayed for some time probably in that relationship or marriage, and things may not be going as you expected initially. Maybe things were hot initially, but it's not going like you had expected first, but you have the intention of renewing it. You have the intention of renewing and getting things back to the way they used to be, or maybe even better. So it's very important to build your relationship with your better half. Uh, and sometimes in the hustle and bustle of everyday life, it can be easy to lose sight of that initial spark. Busy schedules, work stress, family responsibilities, and even the routine of everyday life can leave little or no room for maintaining the same level of romance you once had. But here's the good news: you don't need expensive dinners, extravagant gifts, or grand gestures to reignite that romance. Small intentional efforts can do wonders for your relationship. Uh, so at the end of this live, we're going to give you a handout that I'm going to share at the end of the live. So if you stay until the end of it, you'll get a specific handout that we'll be using in this training that will be highlighting you for what you'll need to do within the 14 days that will surely bring the spark back if both of you commit to it. For those who are joining me now, I have to commit that my setup now is the basic setup because there is no electricity here. Just something went wrong with the transformer that we have here, so we don't have electricity. I'm using my minimal setup backup. The camera may not be that sharp, but anyway, let's continue and get to know uh, what you were here for. So small intentional efforts can do wonders for your relationship. Instead of waiting for that peak, I know probably sometimes you're waiting for that time when you get a lot, you'll get to take that expensive dinner date, when you have to take that expensive tour, take her somewhere that's very expensive. No, it begins with the small things that you can do right away, even without not such big commitments. And so why is it that people started very well and after some times things now begin to fade? Why does that spark fade? Let's start by acknowledging that romance can naturally fade over time, sometimes. And this does not mean that the love is gone, but rather that we become comfortable and accustomed to our daily routines. And here are some of the common reasons why that happens. One, routine and predictability. After being together for a while, couples often fall into routines. While routine can provide stability, it can also make relationships feel stale. So you're used to doing things a specific way. It's predictable that my husband or my wife will do this at this particular time. While that can mean stability, it can also make the relationship to feel stale. So routine and predictability. Second thing is stress and exhaustion. Balancing work, kids, finances, and daily tasks can leave couples exhausted. When you're running on an empty, romance often becomes the last priority. That stressful situation and exhaustion, probably romance and those good times is what you last think about. The third thing that makes it disappear is taking each other for granted. As time goes by, it's easy to assume your partner knows how you feel about them. That it will not be important for you to explain to them. You might stop expressing love in the same way you did at the beginning of your relationship. So this may sound familiar. If this sounds familiar for you, don't worry, it's completely normal. The goal here is to show you that reigniting that romance doesn't require big changes. All it takes is a few consistent and intentional actions.